it is not anything for you.
Because if you try to make decisions whilst you're desperate, matters of the self that people face on a daily basis, right? It's always about the negative, what is not working at the moment. The list of excuses that people will come up when they hear the word solitude.
You know, more and more I get to learn that life is a school. You're always going to learn something new, either about life in general or on a personal level yourself. And what I'm learning is that whenever you decide you want to go after your desires, your ambitions, your goals, your success, as I said on numerous occasions in previous videos, that life is going to test you, and it's going to peel back the layers of yourself that either you were avoiding that part of yourself, or you are now experiencing, or you're now realizing that there is that part of yourself that you've never seen before. And for me, I'm here chasing after my goals and my ambitions, and I realize that success is not this bed of roses. It's not this bed of roses that a lot of people or social media influencers put it out there to be. It's not. Success is boring, you know, and that a lot of people might be saying, you know, what am I talking about when I say success is boring? I mean, the routine to success is boring. What I mean is that you have to do the same things over and over again, getting better at it. You have to get up the same time in the mornings. You have to do the same routine over and over. And it's very mundane, and a lot of people, I believe that is one of the things that cause them to go off track, because they don't have the discipline to be consistent. Consistency is one of the key factors in every successful person that is on this planet at this given moment. Consistency and discipline. Many of us, we don't have the focus or the level of focus it takes to carry out certain tasks on a daily basis at the same time, over and over and over. And because we do not have that discipline and level of focus and consistency, we easily break away from the routine. And whenever we break away from the routine, we always go down a path of regression. And speaking of regression, I'm speaking of myself, because that is exactly what I experienced recently. And whenever you're going down the road of regression, you tend to enter the old paradigm of thinking that you are trying to get out of, and you start to negative self-talk, you start to feel guilty, you start to judge yourself. And the moment you start to do that, the mind is going to continue to give you all types of reasons as to why things aren't working out, as to why you cannot attain your goals. And it's just going to go on and on and position where you start to self-sabotage. You start to self-sabotage really, 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 really bad. And whenever you do this, you start to lose yourself mentally, emotionally. And when you, I believe that a lot of people persist in this space of thinking, which leads to their depression. What I'm really trying to say is that whatever you're trying to attain, you have to understand that you must be disciplined and consistent in order to reap and see the results that you're working towards. It's not going to happen overnight. And I've realized that in every level of life that you reach, there is always going to be a tear that you have to face, a side of yourself that you never knew existed. And you are going to have to make a decision if it is that you're going to stay on the level you are, or you're going to have to make the necessary sacrifice and do the necessary internal work to overcome that tear or to overcome that barrier. So this month you probably see some success within your business, within your networking space, or your personal relationship, and you feel very good. You know, you feel like, yes man, I've reached somewhere, and things are good now. And before the day even finish, you encounter a barrier that you have never seen before. You never expected this, you never see it coming. And if you don't have the right approach or mindset, you're going to feel stuck and you're going to feel defeated. And whenever you feel that type of way, if you don't have something to anchor your ambition, to anchor the reason why you're doing what you're doing, you're going to fall back into the old paradigm of thinking, and then every single thing that you've done so far is going to be undone. And that's exactly what happened to me. And sometimes you put yourself in a position to think that you have everything under control, to think that yes, I'm doing the work, I am making progress, I am working on myself, and we are doing so much to the point that when we really look at it, we're only avoiding the things that we really need to do by doing a lot of things that we don't really need to do. And then we call that progress. It is a form of avoidance, it's a form of procrastination, and that's what I've observed about myself. And you will feel as if you're lying to yourself. And what I think you should do, this is what I did. I just took some time to really analyze my goals and ask myself, do I really want this? Do I really, really want to achieve all these things that I said I want to achieve? And when I get the answer, the next step is, then what do I need to do to get these things? Because I believe that knowing what you want is one thing, but you have to set up actionable steps that you have to take to attain the goals. Because a lot of people, you will be having conversations with them and you ask them about the things that they want to do or what they should do, and they'll tell you exactly what they want, but when you ask them what steps are they taking to make those things come into reality, they're blank. So actionable steps is key. So I've come up with some actionable steps that I can take to reach my goals, and whenever that time comes, because it will come when you will start to doubt what you are doing, you start to wonder if your actions are paying off. They will come. They will come time and time again. You know, the actionable steps that you set are the things that are going to keep you on your path, because you will have to do these whether or not you're feeling good, whether or not things are working out for you. So just understand that you are not the only one who feel this type of way. There's millions of people who have these feelings on a daily basis. But we're not going to allow our feelings to guide us, because we're not running on autopilot. We understand what we want. We understand what it's going to cost. And we are willing to offer that pound of flesh to get the end result. So believe in your abilities. See it in your mind first and foremost. Yeah, we have to visualize what we want. We have to see it happen before it does, because nobody else is going to see it for us. Yeah, man. See it. Talk about it to yourself. You know, we need to carry ourselves in the way that we imagine things to be, because the space that you think from is the space that you act from. So if you think from a space of lack and scarcity, you're going to act that out. So you're going to always say that I do not have this, or that is too expensive for me, or I'm never going to have that. You have to think from a space of positivity, abundance. See yourself with it already before you even have it, and think and act from that space. It's just food for thought. You know, you have to really sit down with yourself and just be truthful with yourself. You're a human being, and it doesn't make sense you put on this facade as if you're this hyper successful individual and you know what you want and you're working towards it and things are going exactly like how you want it to go. Most of the time that is not the case, because in the beginning things weren't working out for you, but you decide to adopt a certain mindset. You decide to think from a certain positive space by expecting abundance, by expecting the best for yourself. You have to do these things daily, because you're training your mind to adopt a new mindset. You're training your mind to see things from a different perspective, rather than seeing the glass as half empty. You're now seeing the glass as half full. You have to believe in yourself. You have to tell yourself every single day that I am this, I am that, I have that already, it is mine, I feel great, I feel wonderful. You have to read these things into your subconscious mind. So over a period of time, these things are going to be automatic for you. So whenever something that we would often see as negative happen to us, we say, okay, well, this happened, but I learned this from it, and I can carry this into the next stage of my life. When you start to have a mindset like that, you realize that your life is going to shift. Things are going to start happening for you because you no longer are a victim of the things that happen to you, but instead you become a student. You are going to start to see lessons in everything that happened to you, and you're going to apply these things to the next stage of your life, which in return is going to cause you to be much stronger mentally and emotionally, as well as you are now going to see opportunities instead of disappointments, which you are now going to be able to take advantages of these things, hence leading to things happening for you and your life starts to change. We all have this version of ourselves inside of us, the best version. Whether you want to accept what I'm saying as true or not, this is a fact. Because if you ask every single person, what do you want to become, they're going to tell you or describe a version of themselves that is way better than the version that they are now, whether financially, emotionally, mentally, or physically. So we all have that alter ego mindset of a version of ourselves that we want to be. So if we have that, then that goes to show you that we can be it. The fact that you can think and conjure up a better version of yourself that you want to be goes to show you that you have the ability to do it. The problem is that you deciding to go and do it and then taking the action to make that manifest in this reality. And that is the problem that most people have, making the decision and then taking the action to bring those things into reality. I always hear that success is simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. And I always used to think, like, what does that even mean? How can it be simple if it's not easy? And I realized that it's because success is simple because all you have to do, in my opinion, is to just make a decision to be successful. And you make that decision every single day to be successful. Once you make that decision, that's when now you're going to start to taking the actions to be successful. And once you start to take the actions to be successful, you're going to see yourself learning new things that you were never aware of. And that's when the growth is going to take place. You're going to start to stretch yourself mentally, emotionally, intellectually, physically. And by stretching yourself in all those different spheres and areas, you realize that you start to grow. Things start to change for you. You start to attract different types of people who are influential. You start to attract different types of opportunities because you are now knowledgeable, you have the skills, so you're going to start seeing these opportunities that you weren't seeing before. And you're not just only seeing them, you are able to take advantage of them and benefit from them, whether from a network perspective or from a monetary perspective. The message for today is decide what you want. Once you decide what you want, start taking actionable steps to make it a reality. And you're going to do this every single day. And every single day you're going to curate your actions, you're going to curate your mind. Because you have to do that. And once you do that on a daily basis, I can say this unequivocally clear, I can say this 100%, you are going to improve. Your life circumstances is going to change. It is going to change beyond your imagination. Trust me. So decide what you want. Take the actionable steps. And watch and see how your life changes. This is the Resilience Hub.